Hi guys, so we have just arrived at the beautiful Halliards Hotel here in Port Alfred, and we are about to set off on the Kowie Canoe Trail because we are busy exploring the Eastern Cape, our adventure province, our beautiful undiscovered gem. So we've decided to come on this beautiful canoe trail because we want to showcase and show you guys what all you can do in this gorgeous area, Port Alfred and surrounds. We are going to go and explore the Bathurst area and go and have a look at the historical Pig and Whistle Inn in Bathurst, check out the giant pineapple and go and visit the Toposcope. But for now, we're going to hop on these canoes, which is here on my right hand side, and row off into the sunset.
The Kowie Canoe Trail is a 17-kilometer canoe trail up the Kowie River with the most amazing views and game and bird sightings. The canoe hire is included in the cost, so no need to bring your own. You overnight in a simple wooden 4-room chalet at Horseshoe Bend below the majestic cliffs. All the firewood, the braai grid and tongs, fresh rainwater, a gas stove, pots, kettle, cutlery and crockery is supplied, and there is a shower and flush toilet.
Amazing is the water.
Absolutely stunning. Fantastic. A little bit of wind out, but you know what? We're strong, we're good, we're going to do this. So far, so good. And here's the thing, we're not even halfway yet, eh? But it's actually lovely out here. A bit windy, but beautiful. You can also opt for the organizers to transport your luggage to the overnight camp. We did that, and believe me, it is worth the few extra pennies. Also make sure that you have enough water, energy drinks and snacks for the row up the river, as it can take a while.
Oh, sweet man. I'm just a copy. Is that okay? Perfect.
No, but you can just...
But take Katie in your boat tomorrow.
I am not paddling.
Not paddling anymore.
No.
He's getting on that road.
Well, don't worry, we were talking about getting Uncle Craig a front weight.
There was really coffee in the coffee with milk and sugar. Absolutely.
Yeah, there was lots of love in that mouth. I'll start off with, you won't believe it.
Their meat is
The butcher's
really
on point, eh?
yeah,
Quality with quality.
really, really nice.
That's
nice.
like a pro.
The chalet sleeps 18 people, but you need to bring your own bedding. Make sure that you keep an eye out for the jetty. It is the only jetty on the river that is that far up, because the camp is not clearly visible from the river and some of us overshot the mark by about 4 kilometers. We definitely recommend that you spend at least 2 nights at the camp, as the tramping trails are totally worth doing. There are different routes for different fitness levels, and you need enough time to walk or run these beautiful trails, so do linger a bit longer.
Oh! That is an orb spider. Apparently harmless, and apparently you can eat them. I'm not gonna take the chance. No, I'm just gonna scoot through. So guys, we are on the Kowie Canoe Trail. We're doing the little 12k hike today. We rode here yesterday, and we are about to go to the lookout point to look down onto the river, and I believe that you can even see Port Alfred from here. It is quite a bit of a hike to get here. It's very steep, but the view is so worth the climb. It is insane.
This is Kowie River. It comes from Port Alfred to here at the picnic area. We will see our picnic area later on. This Kowie River is 21 kilometers from Port Alfred to the cabin down there. As you can see, you have to stop and sleep over on the cabin. Yeah, this is also Waters Meeting Nature Reserve. It's 986 hectares. This is the interesting point. People, they like to see when they're coming from other provinces, because as you can see in this lookout, you can see all the way the sea down there, the Port Alfred, and that's all about Waters Meeting. I'll show you other interesting stuff down there when we are doing our trails.
This is Sarah Hayward Dam. It pumps water to Port Alfred. It's managed by Ndlambe Municipality. Right there, it's a pump station, and it is where they measure the water levels.
That is really cool. Hysterical. That is hysterical.
Hey guys, so we're on the Kowie Canoe Trail, the day hike, and I've got Katie and I've got Beansy here with me. So guys, how are you finding this hike?
It's beautiful. Beautiful scenery. Yeah, just tough on the legs.
It is rather tough, hey?
Yeah.
There's been some ups and there's been some downs.
No, waking up this morning and being told I'm going on a 12k hike was a bit of a mission, but honestly, it's so far been incredibly worth it. Seeing the pretty dried up dam on the way here, but incredible sight. Bunch of wildlife, 2 spiders.
In terms of this hike, what was like the highlight for you so
The
far?
highlight. Oh, I'm
There's
still
been so
thinking about
many.
those spiders though. But the highlight for me was definitely that bridge, that Rickly, like, what was it? The bridge that was so like unsteady but also steady at the same time. So every step you took was kind of like,
yes.
yeah.
Yeah, that
That
one was
was-
very sort
yeah.
of rustic and
Yeah.
rickety, but
Yes.
beautiful.
There we go.
I'm looking forward to actually getting to this picnic spot.
Yeah, likewise.
Definitely.
Yeah, I've got a bit of food in my pack that's calling me now right now. Everybody should come and do the Kowie Canoe Trail and this day hike because it's just stunning. Yes, there's uphills. Yes, there's downhills. We've seen some spiders, we've seen some bees, but it has been beautiful. And I'm going to follow the rest now.
This is the crowned eagle nest. It was used to stay here to hatch some eggs. It used to hatch some eggs in October, 2 chickens. But we noticed when we were doing our patrols, it moved the nest to the other area of the reserve.
You made it! So guys, I'm sitting here with one of my dear friends, Jenny Galt, and we have just done the 12, 14, 16k, 16k hike here at Kowie Canoe Trails. And Jen, I want to ask you, and I know that a lot of people don't know this, but you are doing Kilimanjaro later this year.
Yeah, I'm going to climb Kilimanjaro in October.
Yay!
Yeah.
Awesome!
Yeah.
That is so fantastic. Now, guys, Jen is probably one of the bravest women that I know. Okay, and she's flipping amazing. Now, obviously, climbing Kili is hard work.
Yeah, it is. It's taken a lot of training. I've been training since 1st of March. And, increasing training. And, this weekend's been amazing for training.
Absolutely, because we did the row yesterday, we're rowing again tomorrow, and as we said today, we hiked about 16 k's.
Yeah, it should have been 12, but we elected to come home the extra bit. So
Yes, we did.
that was our choice.
Precisely. And tell me, Jen, do you think today's hike? Because look, it's not an easy hike. I would say it's a little bit more difficult than intermediate. Do you
Yeah.
think that was good training for your climb?
Absolutely. Listen, I've done on the research on Kili, I've done huge research. Okay, the hike here they called it a blue route. Guys, I think that's really mean. How can you call it a blue route? It was like, yo, but it was. It's an amazing. Yeah, I don't want to see their. I saw some red boots in the sand, and I thought, okay, we're not even going to go there. But yeah, on training wise, I think it's an amazing as a solid walk. We were out from the cabin and back to the cabin in like just under 6 hours. It was incredible. It was the right amount of push. It was incredibly beautiful. It was never boring. I want to come back again because next time round I want to do it that we do row in and we do a hike, but we row in maybe a fraction earlier. We're a bit slack with getting out of the harbour and we're playing around, but row in, then do a 12k, then the next day do 2, maybe one in reverse, so that I'm getting the benefits of all the different
fantastic
ups and downs. And then on the Sunday do a hike, then row home, so double up on the weekend.
Wonderful.
But I think that would be incredible.
Absolutely. Well, you know what, you inspire people. You are amazing, and we wish you all the best of luck for your training.
Thank you.
And I just know you're going to do this thing.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Well, guys, if Jenny thinks of coming back, then I want to say to all of you out there, you should do this hike. And on that, I'm going to cheers with coffee. There you go.
After a day's hiking in the splendid but indifferent company of my mate Bruce and Robert here, we stumbled through the forest one step at a time, and we've made it. But now it's time to feed our hungry souls and to do the best that we can with the elements and the wonderful wood that we have here. So what we're going to do, first of all, is we have to incorporate our shoe chefs, not sous chefs, our shoe chefs. One is Beansy. He's well attired with a pair of Crocs, green Crocs, and he's a master sous chef. And what he will be doing is he will be removing the grid and taking that away there. And Bradley, who spent much of the day levitating from that seat, will build us a big fire on the right, move it here to this side, and then my mighty cooking friend will tackle the meal with our 6-gun spice, and we'll do our preparations on that table over there. And once all of that is done, we will return to the cauldron of heat and scratch out some coals to that side. But for tonight's episode, the naked chef, Michelin star 3.5, will be demoted to bottle washer and cook. So we're going to take this one step at a time whilst my friend does his best to injure himself, and we're going to make for you tonight a chicken pot. And we're going to start with onions, bacon. We're going to fry that up with a tiny little bit of fruit, take it out the pot, and then we're going to add in the chicken, brown it up a little bit, put in some of our 6-gun grilled spice, and let it just simmer and talk a little bit and snazzing and get nice and comfortable. And then we're going to sit back and chuck some veggies in there and just have a lacquer joy. This is called raisins. They're delightful little shriveled up grapes, and with a burst of flavor. So they will go in later just to give it the make when we're ready to bed the chicken down. So what you have here, you've got a wonderful, wonderful combination of salty pig, fatty salty pig, and that will talk with the onions. And then with that saltiness, you'll cut through the saltiness with the sun-dried pears, you see, and you will cut even further through with these shriveled up grapes.
It is Karoo chicken, grain-fed, free-range, the best chicken that you can actually get in this area. You're going to marinate it for a large amount of time, as we can, and add a little bit of sweet piquancy. You're going to use the barbecue 6-gun grill, which is well known for a bit of a bite and a deep, healthy flavour. You're going to mix the chicken up Always put a bit of salt, a bit of white pepper, bring up the flavors, and a little bit of chutney as well. Add some sweet. You've got some chopped up pears there, and chicken likes that. After this chicken's been sauteed, we will add the onions, which are also pre-prepared on our raging fire there, which you can see by the maybe you can't see by the smoke. And we're going to make one healthy potjie for our 9 travellers to keep them rewarded for their 15k hike today.
So guys, it is Sunday morning. We are heading back to Port Alfred. As you can see, probably it's raining. We're busy getting ready to leave, to get back on the water and row back after an action-packed, fun-filled, fantastic weekend here on the Kowie Canoe Trail. But don't despair, we are going to show you all the amazing things that you can do in Port Alfred and also in Bathurst, because this is just the most beautiful, most amazing area, and you guys should really come and do this beautiful trail. So from me until just now, ciao. Guys, we are in Bathurst at the historical Pig and Whistle Inn, and I've got Gavin and Lucille here with me, who are the current owners. Guys, thank you so much first and foremost for hosting us. We love the Pig and Whistle and we love Bathurst.
Correct. So do we.
Yes, and thank you for joining us.
Oh, trust me, the stage is all mine. Now, Lucille, I want to find out, you guys are not locals, although you're locals now, but how did it come about that you guys now own this establishment?
Well, we are locals, I guess now after 10 years, we consider ourselves locals.
Absolutely.
We came here, I did not think that I would ever land up here. Gavin wanted to come and do something very different in the latter part of his career. I thought it would be running an NGO or something similar in Johannesburg, where we had lived for many years, all our lives actually. And so we came to look at the hotel, and I thought, well, that's going to be a look-see, and we'll go home and nothing will change for me. Came here, Gavin loved the hotel, and persuaded me that it would be a good thing for us to do. And so we arrived 10 years ago, and we've had an amazing roller coaster ride actually for the 10 years. Extremely difficult, challenging, a new area that we've never known anything about, hospitality. I had been pretty much a stay-at-home mom, so I had not worked. I now work 24/7 for the last 10 years. My retirement was the wrong way around. But it's been an enriching experience, and we've met the most amazing people who you would not have met in Johannesburg, and a lifestyle that is completely different. So we still go back to Joburg, love it, enjoy the malls, enjoy the energy of a city, and then we come home and enjoy the hotel and the variety, the vast difference between the two places. So we're very happy here, and it's been an amazing experience.
Awesome. Well, it is such a gorgeous little place. I mean, it's just quaint and cute and amazing. Now, Gavin, the history. Obviously, there was something here that attracted you to this little hotel.
Well, it's also the opposite way around. I'm my family and Lucille's family are 1820 settler offspring.
Oh, wow.
But that's not why we bought the Big and Whistle. The Big and Whistle is a heritage site. It was built 189 years ago by the Hartley family, and they are intermarried into my family and Lucille's family a long, long way back. But of course, in those days, everybody was intermarried with everybody, so it's not a surprise. And the hotel is much the same as it was in 1832.
Fantastic.
So it's continuously operated as a pub for 189 years.
Wow.
And I often say to Lucille, I think back, my great-great-great-great-great-grandfather stood at that bar and had a beer. And Lucille always says to me, no, he hated the place. He was a teetotaler. And of course, neither of us know what the truth is. So we've often debated about whether that's a good thing to think about or not. So the pig is just, it's been around and it's been doing what it's doing for literally hundreds of years. It's very hard to get your mind around it. I mean, we're now talking the COVID pandemic, and it's been through 9 or 10 pandemics in its life. So it'll survive this one as well.
Totally, we have no doubt. Lucille, I just want to find out, you said that you love the community here. Obviously, farming community mostly, so it's probably quite close-knit, and you probably, your customers become your friends.
That's exactly right. On any given Sunday, we do a Sunday roast lunch with live music every Sunday. It's become very popular, it grew over the years. And it brings me great joy to look down the veranda and see people who are not only guests, but who have become friends through the years. So yes, it is a close-knit community. It is a group of mainly farmers. It is that they come here, they frequent the place on a daily basis. We have locals who come in here every single day doing their thing, and everybody becomes our friends. So it's like hosting at home. It's become like a home. Yes. So it took a while for them to, I think, to warm to us, and a while for us to be accepted, because it is, you know, we came from Johannesburg, it was a completely different situation. But once we became at home in the community, it's just been amazing. We've got lots and lots and lots.
Awesome. Now, Gavin, I see from around City here, there's a whole lot of piggies, little piggies, okay, wooden piggies on all the beams here. What are these little pigs all about? What do they represent? Can you maybe just enlighten me?
Yeah. Okay, about 9 years ago, my daughter, she thought we needed to do a community project, a community outreach project for the hotel. It's part of our reason for being here. So she coined the expression "pigs for people," and what we do is that guests and donors pay us 250 Rand, and they get to have their name on a little pig in the oldest pub in the country. And we've raised just short of 400,000 Rand over the years, and given musical instruments to the local schools, playground equipment, sponsored soccer teams and rugby teams and cricket teams. So it's really been a very rewarding thing to get involved in. And we've now converted that into a trust, and during the lockdown we raised about 1.8 million Rand for food parcels in the little village over behind us here in Bathurst. And that project, the trust is called the Bathurst Development Trust, and it continues to raise money. So what we do now is we fund seedlings for market gardens, and we help with rain tanks in the townships and the like. So it's really, really going well.
Awesome. Well guys, that is absolutely amazing. So, people, you need to come and visit Bathurst, you need to come and visit the Pig and Whistle, and do buy your little piggy and make sure that this amazing project can continue. We are going to go off and explore the town now.
And over the road that side is Tory Stowe's gallery and shop. And Tory is a well-known artist and fabric designer, and she's lots of her designs and fabric, you'll recognize it when you see it because it's almost commonplace in Woolworths and other similar outlets. Okay, so this is the Bathurst Arms, which is a competitor pub to the Pig and Whistle. And because they're so close to each other, people have a drink with us and then they wander over the road and have a drink here. And yeah, that's the bistro set back off the road in a lovely treed, this is called the Village Green, and the bistro's at the back of it. Most of these graves date back to the 1820s when the 1820 settlers were here, and this church was of course built by 1820 settlers. So where there's an established grave you can still see the gravestone and the name of the person, but in other parts there's just a little marker and they're numbered, and inside the church and on the wall here is the names that are attached to those markers. These are the names of the people behind the markers, and you'll see there are some unknown. Okay, so most of the people here, if you walk around the village, you'll still see these names like Tim and Arno and Elliot. They're all still farmers and residents and retirees in the village. So it's got a long history of quite stable families and populations. We're coming up on the left is the old nunnery, which is also in private hands, and it's been quite extensively refurbished by a friend of mine called Marilyn Michau, and she's owned this house for many years here. So this is where the nuns attached to the Anglican Church would have lived. We do as a committee and helpers is we manage and maintain all the heritage sites that are not owned, that are on public land. Because they become derelict, we took ownership, not literal ownership, but so we've taken them over and we've refurbishing them, maintaining them, and charging a fee to people to come and have a look and to contribute to their further upkeep. So we've done the mill, the toposcope, which we'll see later, and this is our newest project, which is the powder magazine. Now, what the powder magazine was a building to house the gunpowder that was used in the frontier wars.
Okay.
So it's a very sturdy cement-based building with a cement roof designed to withstand the powder being blown up inside and not kill all the soldiers on the outside.
Oh, wow.
Those are the hills outside of, I don't know if you know Stone Hill.
Yes.
That Stone Hill, on that ridge is Stone Hill, and then you go down behind that hill into Grahamstown.
Yes, yes.
Okay, so we've just refurbished the door, replaced all the hinges and the lock. And what's going to happen in here is we're going to do displays, just so you'd go inside and have a look at displays of the history of the frontier wars.
It's amazing, it looks so close until you start running.
Yeah. It's the Bathurst Primary School, also a heritage site. One of the oldest existing, just duck into the side road here. This is it's looking a bit sad now, but this is the playground equipment we bought with the Pigs for People project.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And this is the building, and there's some lovely old photographs of the school. A really bad, the litter and the vagrants and everything was terrible, and what we've done is we've rebuilt all the little plaques were damaged or broken or destroyed. So we've redone them, and we've made it an inclusive monument by including the Xhosa chiefs and tribes that were here at the time of the frontier wars. Okay. So it now memorializes both sides of the war.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, now the beacon in the middle was called Bailey's Beacon, and again, it's one of these stories that I never know if it's true or not. Apparently the settlers were dispatched from here to their various farms. So this was a view site. This is the farm for this family, the Dysons, was 3.5 miles that way.
Okay.
And this is the county in England where they came from. That's the family name. That's where they left from, which was London. And that's the ship that they were on when they arrived here.
Yes.
So each of these, now this is the old part of this monument. So what we've done is, you'll see over there, we added, we call them cairns, memorializing the chiefs that were, and the direction in miles to their crawl.
Okay.
At the time of the 1820 settlers arriving here. So Ndlambe is Bathurst, Port Alfred, Kenton, Alexandria, Kleinamont that way.
Okay.
So it's one big municipality known as Ndlambe.
The mill was built in 1821, started in 1821, finished in about 1828, built just by the two Bradshaw brothers pretty much on their own. They had very little help, and they had many other problems to contend with while they were doing it, so it took them a full 7 years to do it.
Wow.
If you go down the steps over there, you'll see the water come to the wheel and start it moving. Well, this is the third wheel that's been installed here. The first one that the Bradshaws had turned the other way round.
Oh.
It was originally what was called a backshot wheel. Now it's an overshot wheel. The mill was completely burnt down in 1835, and in that fire the end wall here collapsed onto the wheel and smashed it. So you can see where it's been rebuilt at the top.
Yes.
When it was rebuilt, then the top floor was altered. It was always a 3-storey building, although the old stories will all tell you it's a 2-storey building. It was always a 3, because Samuel Bradshaw said that in his letter as well. But it was rebuilt as a grain mill in about 1859, 1860. It was the only woolen textile mill with a water power that was ever built in the country.
Oh, wow.
And it's the beginning of the woolen textile industry in this country.
Oh, my word.
So, David, behind this in there would have been either a textile
Let's go
mill
into
or
it.
stones.
Let's go inside. Just be careful when you're crossing here, it's slippery. Okay. The machine that the Bradshaws could have used this for was a thing called a fulling mill, and that would have been in this corner here. And that's another reason why we know that the wheel went the other way around, because the only way it could have operated a fulling mill in this corner here is if the wheel went the other way around.
Okay.
After the fire of 1835, the Bradshaw brothers wrote a claim, or put in a claim to the government for compensation for their losses. And in that claim, they listed everything that they had lost. And this hammer, and there were 2 claw hammers listed in that claim in 1835. And so we assume that those were theirs. And you can see that we've been digging in the floor here, and that's where they were found. Those things came out of the floor here.
Amazing.
And the pick, although it looks just like a modern one, is actually made in a blacksmith's forge. You can see that from the layers of steel when you take it out of the box. It's not a cast one, it's forged. And this is a grain elevator which would have been used to raise the meal back up to the top floor. There's a drawing of what the mill probably looked like after the fire, and you can see it was pretty much destroyed. Then it was rebuilt by the Hobbs family, and they ran it for about 15 years.
Okay.
Probably not. Maybe not even as long as that. We don't know. We know less about the grain mill than we do about the wool and textile mill. Okay. There are no records of the grain mill at all. But we do know that the Hobbs family left here in the middle of the 1870s or late 1870s, and they just abandoned the place.
Guys, we thoroughly enjoyed our time here in Bathurst. Now, you may think that this little town only sports a giant pineapple, but let me tell you that apart from staying at the historical Pig and Whistle and having a drink at South Africa's oldest pub, there is just so much to do in this beautiful, quaint little town. I can totally see why artists and writers and famous people would want to come and live here. There's art galleries, there's many eateries. It is just a fun place to be, and from the Topper Scope and various places in Bathurst, you have the most incredible view, literally views for days. Guys, I would totally recommend that no matter who you are, how big your family is, come to Bathurst, come and experience this magical, quaint little town. Now it's time for us to have our supper. It is our final night here in Bathurst, and we are going to enjoy a scrumptious meal in front of a fantastic fire with a nice adult beverage, and we will check you next time in fantastic, amazing Kenton and Sibuya Game Reserve.